In this test, we want to test two different controls. The first control is to ensure that all transactions over $500 have a valid approver, and all transactions over $10,000 have a second director level approver. The second control is to verify that all approvers are valid approvers at the appropriate level. We'll need data from two sources. We've pulled in purchase transaction data and put it in the purchases sheet, and approval data and put it on the level 1 approvers and director level approvers worksheets in our workbook. So let's take the first part of this, that all transactions over $500 have an approver. We see in our data that we have an amount column and an approval and approval to columns. Also, we can see that these columns should have a name or are filled with NA. So the first test we should run is to see if we have an approver for each transaction that is greater than $500. We can do this easily by running an exception report. In the exception report, we'll say where the amount is greater than 500 and the approval is like NA. We can see in our results that all these transactions are greater than $500 and they are missing an approval. Similarly, we can run an exception report for transactions greater than $10,000. So again, we'll say where the column is the amount is greater than 10,000 and where approval to is like NA. And we can see we have one record greater than $10,000 where the second approver is missing. Now the second part of our test is to match the approvers on the purchase transaction records with our valid approvers list. But first we need to create a sheet with just the transactions that are more than $500 and another sheet with just the transactions that are more than $10,000. We can do this very easily again using the exception report. We want all records where the amount is greater than 500. So we have a new worksheet containing those records and we can rename this sheet greater than 500. We've already done this for the $10,000 amount and named the tab greater than 10,000. We're going to compare the data on these two worksheets with the information of our level 1 approver sheet for transactions between $500 and $10,000 and our director level approver sheet for amounts over $10,000. Now we can use the join two sheets function to compare the approvers on each of our purchase records in the greater than $500 worksheet with the approvers on the level 1 approver sheet. We select the approval column and the username columns. We will ask for the results to contain all rows from both sheets, and in this section we want to compare all of the rows in our greater than $500 sheet that don't match a record in our level 1 approvers worksheet. And our results show us that these transactions have NA for their approval and someone named D. Radcliffe, who is not on our list of valid approvers. So we'd want to take a look further into each of these transactions to understand why they do not follow our policies. We did the same thing to find the $10,000 approval level, but this time we compared the approval to column to the username column on the director level approvers worksheet. Here we see that we have several NA records, but we also have someone named B. Coyne, who approved a transaction but was not on our valid approvers list. So with these series of tests in less than 5 minutes, we've reviewed thousands of records and found all transactions over $500 that did not have an approver and all transactions over $10,000 that did not have two approvers. Also, we found transactions without a valid approver or director level approver. Had we just done sampling, it's unlikely that we'd have found these records that are exceptions to our policies.